Hey everybody, I really wanted to put this video together because I had a little episode the other day and I really just wanted to share my experience with pre-menstrual dysphoric disorder to help anybody else who may be experiencing that, maybe they don't know and are suffering from it, and I just wanted to make you feel less alone. This is definitely not meant to be a medical video of any sort or a medical advice video. I just wanted to kind of share my story. So like I said, to make anyone else who is suffering and experiencing from this and who is having PMDD affect their life, maybe just hearing somebody else's story will kind of help you figure out how to navigate it yourself. Without getting too much into detail, because I don't think it really takes that much explanation, PMDD is pretty much PMS on steroids. Some of the symptoms of PMS, I'm sure if you're a woman or a human with female organs, you have experienced some kind of PMS, which includes anger, irritability, depression, anxiety, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, headaches, extreme sadness or hopelessness. So if you've experienced any of these symptoms of PMS, then you could understand that PMDD is just a super severe form of this. So like I said, it's just PMS except on hypersteroids. I started developing PMDD after I stopped breastfeeding my son, which was maybe about 9 or 10 months ago, and I didn't really know what was going on or think too much of it, but my husband was actually the one that did a little bit of research and figured it out, because sure enough, once a month at around the same time, I would turn into a monster, just a straight up monster. And unfortunately for him, it was all directed at him, and it really caused a lot of distress in our relationship. I pretty much wanted a divorce once a month, and it was just a really, really horrible thing. So one day he was researching it and he was like, hey, I think you have premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And after reading a little bit about it and experiencing the same thing every month, I started accepting that maybe I was experiencing this. So I just want to put it out there that being a human is really, really hard, and being a female is also really hard. So that time of a month, every month, is really, really challenging. So when I started experiencing this, I was like, okay, maybe I can just manage it, and if I know it's once a month, I can just kind of deal with it and know it's there and it'll be fine. But then after a few months going by and me experiencing it every month and it really damaging my relationship with my husband, I was like, okay, I really need to go and see a doctor about this and get something figured out. I had talked to a lot of really good friends who were taking just a super mild dose of antidepressants on the regular, and they were having really good experiences from it. And at first, the idea of taking antidepressants made me feel really weak. But then after a while, I realized that all of the friends that I talked to about that, who were doing that for themselves in their own life, I really looked up to them and I really respected them. And so I was like, whatever, I'll just put my pride aside and I'll just go and see if this works for me. So I went to the doctor, and it turns out that you can actually do this just for a week. So if you are suffering from PMDD, you can get on antidepressants just for that week, and apparently it really helps. So I went to the doctor and I got antidepressants prescribed to me for that week, and a few days before it was supposed to kick in the next cycle, I started taking them, and it made me feel so incredibly nauseous. So I actually stopped. Like, I am very much in my own body and in the feeling of my own body, and so feeling that super mega nauseous, it was even worse than when I was experiencing morning sickness with my son, which I didn't have a super severe form of that, but it was not working for me. So I ended up not taking those antidepressants and just kind of leaving them in the medicine cabinet at home, and they haven't really been touched. So a few months went by and actually my symptoms started kind of going away. So for a few months I didn't experience it at all. Like when that time of month came, it was fine. But then just recently, like a week or so ago, sure enough, I was saying really horrible things and experiencing really horrible feelings of anxiety and hopelessness and anger, and really anger, just turning into a monster. And I had kind of forgotten about it because I hadn't experienced it in so long. And once again, it was my husband that brought it up that, hey, I mean, I'm not gonna go into details of that conversation, but he was like, hey, and he looked at his phone and he's like, it's the 25th of the month, and guess what has happened around this time often for the past 9 months? And I felt a little embarrassed for myself that I hadn't remembered, but I ended up putting in my phone for every month in the future from the 24th of the month for a whole week. So I get a warning in my phone when that time comes that warns me, hey, you are going to start going downhill, so don't try to talk about anything serious in your relationship with your husband, pretty much. Editing, Julian here. One thing I realized while I'm editing this movie that I totally forgot to mention is that during the week or whatever the timeline is that you experience PMDD or even PMS, obviously how you're living your life or your lifestyle is really affecting how you feel. However, I have found that no matter how much meditation I do, how well I eat, how much exercise I get, that I still am easily overcome by my hormones in that time. Excuse me. What do you have to say about it? Yeah, he knows. He knows all about it. And so I do want to give weight and, you know, put some importance on lifestyle changes during that time and make sure you are taking really good care of yourself. But I also just want to just kind of shed light on the fact that when you are overcome by that amount of hormones, it's just really freaking hard. So be kind to yourself during that week. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys. It's a super short one, but I just wanted to share it with you so you feel a little bit less alone if that's how you're feeling. So if you are interested in going to a doctor to get some antidepressants prescribed to you for the week around that time, again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm definitely not recommending that, but I do want to encourage you to just kind of take your health and your mental health into your own hands and kind of be an advocate for if you need to do that. It's definitely not something weak to do. It definitely doesn't make you a lesser human or a weaker human, which I struggled with the idea of that. So if that's something for you, sweet. And then the other thing you can do, which is what I'm gonna start doing, is just putting a warning in your phone as a reminder that pops up and reminds you that you are gonna turn into a monster for the next week or the next couple days, and to just not have any serious conversations with whoever it is in your life that could cause problems with during that time. And another thing I'm going to try to do is just do a lot of journaling and a lot of just sitting with my feelings and knowing it's going to pass. So yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you guys and send my love out to you if you are experiencing this. And I also just wanted to kind of bring a little bit of awareness to it, that maybe you think that you just have really bad PMS, which you might, and there is actually a name for it, and it is Pre-Menstrual Dysphoric Disorder. So I feel like that should be a better known thing, since being a female during that time is really, really hard. So that's my story, and I hope that you got some value out of this video, and take care of yourself.